Good morning. Welcome to 365 Days of Richer Living, daily morning reading, meditation, and prayer time. I'm Reverend Ray Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. Today is July 20th. I forgive. The reference quote this morning comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 22, and chapter 65, verse 17. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Our reading begins. Whatever the mistakes of yesterday may have been, today is a new creation. Turning from the errors of the past and no longer carrying with us the sorrows and mistakes of yesterday, today we may enter into a new experience. But it is only when we forgive everyone that we can feel certain that the weight of condemnation is lifted from our consciousness. We should refuse to carry the negations of yesterday into the positive atmosphere of today, for today the world is made new in our experience. When we criticize another person, we are apt to become involved in their psychological reactions. This does not help the person we censure, but draws us into the confusion which we are observing. We must recognize that each person is a law unto themselves within the cosmic law. Each person has the right to their own ideas and beliefs. We cannot understand a person's actions until we know the beliefs which are motivating them. Only from the inner self can motives be explained. Today, I loose all condemnation. I judge not, and I am judged only by the law of good. There is no animosity, no criticism, no hatred. I shall behold the face of love, of beauty, and of peace in everyone I meet. I know that every right motive has the blessing of the Spirit, and that there is nothing that opposes this blessing or denies divine givingness. Let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. close my eyes to free myself from the distractions of the physical world around me. I bow my head in reverence to that something, that everything that is greater than the expression of itself. That one power, that one presence, that one substance, that one source, that unseen, unnameable, unlimited, changeless, known by many names. In this moment, I know it as consciousness itself, as the ground of all being, as this consciousness that, while changeless, expresses itself, its life, creation in infinite diversity, infinite multiplicity, expanding its experience of itself as its creation. I am that in form. And yet, while all of the divine substance, all of life is fully present, expressing itself in, through, and as this individualized expression of it that I call me, I recognize that this me is never all of it. That the totality, the infinite, the eternal thing itself is beyond what I can completely comprehend in this human experience, and yet it recognizes itself within itself, surrounded by itself. It recognizes itself in every other expression of itself. At every level of creation, it knows no levels. It simply recognizes itself. It recognizes itself in the wind, in the rain, in the sun, in the moon, in the grass, in the soil, in the seed, in the mineral, in the gas, in the cosmos, in the black hole, in the dark matter, in that which we have yet to even experience in this physical realm. All one with, all making up the whole, a complete and perfect wholeness. Consciousness itself, whether we call it consciousness, the universe, God, matters not. But rather, what matters is the comprehension of those words, the self defining of those words, to name and yet recognize that it is nameless. And so I declare, I affirm, I claim my birthright of wholeness. And as I claim my birthright of wholeness, I must, by recognition of one whole, everything, recognize the wholeness and the perfection of every expression of it, equal to my own. And so the agency of thought, the agency of expression, the agency of choice is recognized at every level, in every expression. The concept of forgiveness itself being the very grace, the very givingness of creation to itself, the giving of choice to creation, choice with no condemnation. And I understand the word forgiveness to represent in this human realm, in this human understanding, in this thing called language. And so as I practice the concept, the activity, the art of forgiveness, I am practicing in alignment with the self-givingness of consciousness to itself, affirming the agency of choice in that Christ consciousness that knows no condemnation. Beyond agreement in this physical realm, I align myself with the spiritual truth of choice. And as I do, I participate actively in the healing by healing, mentally healing. The point of expression that is me. That healing this cell in the one body participates in healing the body. And by healing, I simply am recognizing the bringing into perfect alignment the self with the self. Grateful. Grateful to have knowledge that becomes wisdom as it's used. Grateful to have knowledge that experienced becomes an expression of infinite reality at the point of my being. Grateful. Grateful for the opportunity to love. To love beyond limitations of my conditioned thinking of right and wrong, good and bad, up and down, big or little. To live from the gratitude that knows itself by revealing itself, by embracing itself, by holding a point of wholeness in the midst of fragmentation, to being a point of peace in the midst of chaos, to being love in the midst of hate, to being forgiveness in the wound that cries for healing. Grateful that I am that too. And so, in my commitment to live from gratitude, in gratitude, to express truth with the capital T of my being, gratefully, I let go. I let go of all personal agenda. I let go of all sense of fear and trepidation. I let go of any blaming. I let go of any separation of othering. I let go. And I return over and over again to the agency of consciousness as me. And I let go. Allowing the full, unimpeded healing of aligned consciousness to operate. I let go. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is.